Hello everybody, Roguey here, and for this week's video I wanted to do something a little bit different, but it's something I've always enjoyed doing in Dead by Daylight. A lot of times on stream I'll randomly say something about the game and people won't realise it was a thing, which by the way I currently stream Monday, Wednesday and Friday every week during the evening times over on twitch.tv/RogueyVV. Link will be in the description. Gotta get that cheap plug in there somewhere. So I came up with a list of at least one tip for playing against each killer. I've tried avoiding any perk heavy tips, as facing a nurse or a spirit, the obvious perks would be Dead Hard and Iron Will, but there are a couple in there. So without further ado, let's get into the video. You can actually run over a trap without being caught in it if another survivor is disarming it. You can also Dead Hard over traps. The rate slows down to 2 meters per second, or 1.6 meters per second as of the Trickster update, while uncloaking, which helps with gaining distance to get to a pallet or a window. You can also hear growling even while he's invisible. Keep running loops to force him to M1 you. The best bet is constantly down people with their chainsaw due to being caught out of position, so be aware of your nearest loops. Break line of sight to force her to guess where you are and try to counter-predict her blinks to gain distance. Preventing line of sight to avoid his stalking, but also further distance decreases his stalk gains. Also, he loses any collision while he is stalking you. Lockers prevent both of his shock abilities, but you can also Dead Hard through his static blast to avoid screaming. Utilize high loops to turn her into a slow M1 killer, and also get used to counting her missed hatchets to know if she's going to throw a hatchet over a drop pallet or if she's actually going to just try and M1 you. Crouching over her traps works, but also you can vault a pallet or a window but not move afterwards, which doesn't trigger them either. So you can actually do this at a pallet to force her to break the pallet. Clustered areas are great to trigger Bubba's tantrum, and also try to avoid basement hooks at all costs. If they use a Strider, good luck, but if not, then slow vaulting windows increases how long she needs to face to reach you potentially. Honestly, just disconnect, take the 5-minute timeout, you'd have more fun that way. But if you do actually want to suffer and play through the game, wake up using clocks to reduce his ability to use his dream projection ability, and also avoid his snares and his pallets. Hoop the Snoop. Also, don't be afraid to work gens if your trap is inactive. If you hear her charging her ambush at a loop, just run away from it. Drop pallets early if you need to, and also utilize safe loops until they break the pallet. If you're injured, don't drop any pallets against the Frenzied Legion because he actually won't be able to do any damage to you in that state. Similar to Wraith, he also slows down when his frenzy ends, which can help you to get to a pallet or a window for looping him even more. Also remember that they can't see scratch marks while they are in frenzy mode. Try to avoid cleansing as much as you can to avoid her main power. If other people cleanse, then utilize them, but also if you can actually cleanse every single fountain, she will actually gain her power for 60 seconds, but then all of the fountains will return to a normal state. Try to be careful against Ghostface, as sometimes revealing him can be kind of janky, and it also will give him time to stalk you or catch up if you spend too much time just trying to break him out with it. If a Demogorgon has a pull in a bad area of the map, such as not near any objectives or near an area that has been completely devoid of all the loops, do not cleanse the portal because he has a limit to how many portals he can actually place on the map at any one time, and he cannot remove them himself. Try to heal efficiently against the Oni to limit the amount of blood orbs that you drop. Also, looping him well at the start will heavily hurt his snowball potential by limiting how much of his power he can actually get charged up at the beginning. Utilize pallets as much as you can. Most pallets he can't shoot over and get a follow-up hit with, so force him to break the pallet as much as you can. Try to be as unpredictable as you can with your pathing to avoid his punishment of the damned ability. Also, avoid any narrow lanes to avoid giving him a free hit. Try to utilize your map environment as much as you can to make his lethal rush more difficult to land. Also, while he's in cooldown after using his rush, utilize that to get to a nearest loop to punish him even more. Crouching near Victor while he's idle won't actually reveal you on Killer Instincts. Also, if you have Victor attached to you while Charlotte is chasing you, do not remove him, as there will be a cooldown after you remove him where you can't move and Charlotte can catch up and get a free follow-up hit. Now, while the Trickster is kind of new and there's not a lot of information to go on, having only played against him for one day, One of the tips that I have come up with pretty early on is just similar with Huntress to try and use high loops to avoid him being able to hit you with any of his knives, but also try to break line of sight as well. And there you have it. That was at least one tip for playing against every single killer in Dead by Daylight so far. Now we might update this just a few months down the line if there's any more information, or I might even go in depth on every killer individually and kind of go through their strong points, their counter points, and basically do like a mini guide on like how to play against him and as them. But I hope you all enjoyed the video this week. As I said earlier at the start of the video, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday and Friday on Twitch at twitch.tv/RogueyVV. The times are kind of changing because of my IRL work, but hopefully I'll be able to get a consistent start time every single week soon. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.